I was building my own instruments, and then I started to sub for people in LA that had five strings, and I couldn't get my hands on one, but I knew that there was I don't know what kind of, there was some bladed pickup that picked up continuously from the E string to the G string. So I went to the music store where they had this collection of parts, and I got myself like two Telecaster saddles and an extra guitar tuner, and I cut holes in a jazz bass bridge and sandwiched two little saddles in between the three big ones, cut a hole and put a tuner, and I made my jazz bass a five string with this pickup that allowed me to and that was my way to get into see if I wanted to do it or not. And so I knew what I wanted in a bass, and how pretty much I learned at least from where I was at that point. And then I got an endorsement. Well, it was like a cost endorsement, like I got the cost of a music store price of Tobias basses. And he was in Hollywood building at the time, and I was teaching there at Musicians Institute, so I would go over there after work and bug him. And I knew that from the properties of wood and physics, that the lighter a piece of wood is, the deeper a sound it's going to get. It like it's the resonant frequency. Like if something is very dense, like a piece of glass, you tap on it and you get a high pitch. Something like a piece of foam,
Right.
some like piece of foam, a lot of air in it, you thump on it, you get a thump loud sound, thump heavy low sound. So so I knew that the bodies of my instruments, I wanted them as light as possible. So he put like he wouldn't go bolt on, because he was still doing neck throughs at the time, but he put the lightest wings he could, and through that relationship I was able to meet Bill Bartolini and get him to like make the pickup for that bass, and I played those for a couple of years, and I'd had Tribal Tech at that point with Scott, and he was with Ibanez, and during my time teaching there in LA, every 6 months would be a new crop of students, and they would see a ramp and want a ramp. So I was building ramps for students all the time. And one student had this, at the time I was just, this one student had like a 24 fret, kind of a light body, was bolt on. And I thought, that could work. That's really something I'm into. So talked to Ibanez. They sent a couple of guys over with slide rules and calipers and things like that, and they measured the bass that I had built, and they built me one from their stock, and it looked like one of their production basses, but it wasn't a signature bass. Like they were making it just for me, but they weren't selling it. So I was with them and developing instruments and making choices for about 7 years before they came to me and said, okay, we're going to do a signature instrument. And it was like me and Verdine White and Doug Wimbish were like their first bass signature artists. And like I was like in awe, Verdine White, man. And so that process took about 2 years. I thought, okay, signature bass, I know what I want. Let's do it, blah, blah, blah. No. It was like a 2-year process of faxes back then, and emails and sending prototypes and meetings, they'd come to meet me on the road and things like that. And I was so lucky to work with Bartolini in building like this custom ramp-shaped pickup. With individual pole pieces, exactly the height and depth that I wanted, So I was really lucky that they were taking that chance, and there was there was a moment of it was kind of a make or break moment. It worked out really well. But the tuners that I use, the triangular.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was using radio knobs, just plastic. They look like mag wheels, but they really lightened up the headstock, on my basses.
Okay.
Ibanez did some patent research and found out somebody had patented round and parallel. So they came up with this kind of triangular shape, but it wasn't like open to your fingers to fit into. It was just like a triangle extended. And I begged them. I got them, practically got on my knees at a Frankfurt show and said, please, send me a couple more of these. And I got a file, and I cut out these indentations so your fingers could fit, And at that time, they were telling me that to make a mold, to make these knobs, to blast the plastic into and stuff like that, was like 10 grand. And like, this is like their first signature instrument foray. Like, how are they going to amortize this cost? They're going to put it on all their basses. They were like really worried. But they consented to my, desire, like, please do this. And it turns out, like, over the years, it's like the most popular signature bass that they've had, or most successful or whatever. So, it's been a continuing process of experimenting things. Like, now I have 3 basses really. There's the high end signature. It's called the 1005, and it's made by hand by these incredible luthiers. And the tolerances for perfection are just like, I get it out of the case, and it's my bass. It's set up, it's played, ready to go. I'm in awe and humbled by it every time. Then they have a let's see, I think it's a 205, GWB 205. And that one has identical physical specs, but it's made at a factory in Indonesia. So it has the Bartolini pickup, it has the same electronics. And then I have the GWB 35, which is I think it's like $9.99 price point. And it's an ebony neck. They're all ebony necks now, ebony fingerboards, I mean. And it has Ibanez pickup in it, but it has the same physical dimensions, same ramp and everything. So for the 20th anniversary bass that came up a couple years ago, it was kind of opportunity I've been with Aguilar for a long time, and they've been into making pickups. So it was kind of opportunity to honor their involvement in my career, and we developed this bass based on the GW35, except that it's basswood. It has an ash top, so it makes a very nice finish. The sunburst finish looks really good on it. And then they did the sunburst on the ramp and the sunburst on the headstock. So gorgeous instrument with the Aguilar pickup. And it's lightweight, it resonates, it sounds great, and the price on it was like $12.99 or something like that, So, and I think they sold every one of them. So, really, it's a great company, and sort of like a commentary on 2 things: how great it's been to work with Ibanez, and also a commentary on the music industry. I've made more money with royalties from selling instruments than music.
Yeah, that's
it's a great relationship, so I'm really lucky to be a part of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's great that that's, and it's amazing. It's a great relationship, great situation. But then on the other side, it's how does that work? Why is that way?
Yeah.